So next we're going to be talking to you a little bit about what's going on in the real world. There's such a shortage of people. I believe it's going to be the topic of 2022, and that is remote staffing. A lot of training, a lot of anguish, a lot of people spend a lot of time as a business owner doing things that they can have somebody else do it for a lot less. And there is also so many intricacies on the when it comes to remote staffing. You can always use something that is going to give you the best and the simplest way to do it. So let me introduce you to my good friend Victor Arocho, who came all the way from Miami. Come on up, Victor.
Alrighty.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Hey man, it's been great to catch up with you in this. Oh man, we've done a lot of walking through MGM, right? Oh
Yeah.
my God, it's so tiring. You just gotta keep on going. But at least, I know that when I come to something like this, the walking is gonna be so much that I don't have to do walking in the morning. So because I just put it in, but it's hard with dress shoes. How you been, man?
Fantastic. At least I'm getting my steps in.
You know what I admire about you?
What's that?
I admire that you drink water in Thirsty Thursdays.
Thirsty Thursdays.
I tried to persuade him to have a drink yesterday and no go. But we're here on Thirsty Thursdays. Tocayo, can you pass me the water because I'm parched.
You weren't talking about that.
Oh, no, not this. This is for later. By the way, if you want a good mezcal, right here is the guys, I don't know how they do it, the Casamigo guys, Thank you. They're it's so delicious. Anyway.
Not for me.
Not for you. So, sorry, I was thirsty.
No worries.
So, we started talking, and then I told Victor how a lot of our membership are asking us about remote. Some know, some don't know, some do research, some don't do research. But what's the name of the company that you have?
Well, I'm with Solvo Global.
And Solvo Global is based out of Colombia. So he'll go into it. But how did you get to that? I mean, we've known each other from insurance, carriers, and then give us a little bit of background.
I got 30 years of experience in insurance. I've been a serial entrepreneur. Then an opportunity came to me by some of the owners, and I saw what great an opportunity this is, especially now with how hard the labor market is today. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I always say, there's a worldwide competition for talent.
Right.
We're your solution.
Right.
Right. And we're a U.S.-based company, but we have our offices in Colombia, Argentina, Dominican Republic, and we've been expanding ever since.
Right. You recently expanded into Dominican Republic, right?
Yes.
Right. So, do you have an employee to fit every case, or are you specialized? Do you train? There's so many questions, right?
Yeah, I could go on. Well, one thing I wanted to add, thank you for LAPA having me on. I really appreciate it.
You're going to do Miami, man. You're going to do Miami.
Everything that you're doing. And number one thing I wanted to start, because you started before, and it's about entrepreneurships, right? Early stage entrepreneurships. So one thing I found in my experience has been entrepreneurs start their business and they're the best salesperson in their business. They know contacts, they have networks, they do everything.
Right.
But what happens is then they get all this business, and all of a sudden now they're buried in the business, not working on the business.
Right. Not from the above.
So the key part for them, I just want to give a little tidbit, is figure out what is the highest dollar value you could be doing and the lower dollar value items that you could offset. What we call nearshore, because we're in Colombia, we're close. Right. We're Central Time and Eastern Time. Whatever you could do remote. Right.
Remote
it.
Yeah.
Provide it to us for 1/3 the cost.
Right.
With college educated, bilingual, phenomenal people. The Colombian people are incredible. Right. Very competitive, great workers. Impressed with their English, impressed with their Spanish. Has been incredible. So entrepreneurs, don't forget that, because sometimes you lose sight. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. And especially you lose sight when you don't know what you're looking for or what you need, right? So, for example, and we were talking earlier, you were telling me how the Colombians take pride in trying to show the world that the Colombians are not just about Pablo Escobar, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so they, in your teams, that's a pride that they carry, right? They want to excel doing what they do, right?
Exactly. And I visited Colombia, which was and the offices and the people are outstanding. Very attentive, They have a lot of empathy. They're very competitive. So a lot of times when we take on clients, we ask them for their KPIs of what they're doing here.
What's a KPI? So
I apologize. Key performance indicators, a measurement of how well someone's doing.
Right.
Right. So we ask for, okay, how's your team doing? And please, can we have that as a standard?
Right.
And the beauty about our teams in Solva in Colombia, they want to beat the standard. They want to be the best of the best,
right?
And, and they still have time for family and quality of life. So yeah. It's been an amazing journey with the people, with the team, the owners of the company. We have a great business development team throughout the country. So this labor market's not going to change anytime soon.
So let's pretend that our last guest, Yvonne, was in California, where there is such a demand and not the abundance that there is here with employees or possible employees. What are the steps? I mean, going back to what you were just talking about, is like get rid of anything that you can do remotely, right? So give me an example. An agency like hers that does insurance, that does taxes, how would she benefit if she needed employees, if she was in California? How would she benefit by contacting, say, you guys?
Perfect, great. I'm going to stick with the accounting area because you asked for financial and so forth.
Right.
Because I could expand throughout insurance and so forth. But for example, in accounting, right? Accounting firms, if you're doing taxes or you're doing any type of bank reconciliation, you get really busy during this time. There are positions within your company where you don't necessarily need to be doing that work, or you're paying someone a higher dollar value for doing that work. Let's say bank reconciliations, statements for their clients. Our team are college educated. They have at least 1 year work experience. They're able to do that work for a multitude of your clients, so you can continue focusing on networking and growing your accounting practice. So from billing to invoicing, to collections. From the insurance company side, we do customer service. A lot of times insurance agencies, I'm sure your last guest would attest to this, that insurance agencies don't like doing a lot of the paperwork, right? There's a lot of paperwork in the insurance business, right?
Yeah, there is.
So, those are the type of things that, anything that you would allow someone to do from a remote basis, we work within your system. So we're directly connected. We have all the security, so you don't have to worry about the transferring of data. So awesome. Number one. Number two, you give us a job description. We hunt for those people, and then we put them through a process. We evaluate them with Microsoft, English proficiency. We do psychological tests, and then once we put them together and we feel they're going to be a good fit, say for your company, we'll send you a resume with a video of them telling you why they want to work for your company.
So if I want to say a virtual assistant, or earlier on we were talking with your CEO, and I say I want a graphic designer, right? You can provide that. How long does the process take from you to vet somebody to, say from the moment I say yes until the moment I'm in business with you?
That can take, a lot of times it depends on the client,
right?
But normally it could take anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
Right?
So prevent for that. There's a period of time that you can't instantly get a person. But if you do want somebody instantly, there's still other ways to do it. But there is a process. If you want somebody that's going to last with you, somebody that's going to carry your flag, somebody that's going to speak very highly of your business, you have to make sure that you vet them, and that you actually go through it. Now, I also have a lot even members of ours that have call centers, say, in Mexico, right? Why did you guys ended up? Tell me a little bit about how Solvo got started, because you now offer all this, but you started somewhere. How did Solvo start?
All right. Well, I'm gonna try to give you the shortened version of this for time's sake. Solvo is a subsidiary or a large steel company. A steel company. Yeah. Steel manufacturing. They fabricate metal. They melt it down. They sell mesh for buildings. The things that go into buildings, right? And they're in Mexico. They've been around for 30, 40 years. And they want to expand to the Colombian U.S. markets. So they expanded to the Colombian and U.S. markets. They now have 4 facilities in Mexico, 9 in the United States, and 3 in Colombia.
Wow.
So the owner's name is Pedro Perez Calva. moved to Colombia.
Okay.
Just like any entrepreneur.
Why did the Mexican move to Colombia?
Because he was opening up the steel mill, so he went there to open up.
Okay.
That was their expansion. So
Okay.
he moved there, and just like an entrepreneur, like your last guy, she's opening other offices.
Right.
She had to go there, right, and start the process,
Right,
hire
right.
the people. So he needed a lot of manpower, opening up 3 and 9 locations.
Right.
So he was heavily engaged with the labor force and the market. And what happened was, to his surprise, he was very impressed with the people. Everyone had at least 1 college degree. Some
Right.
had 2, right? In Colombia, it's interesting how they do their education. When you get your degree, you go 3 years in your discipline, then you have to work 1 year in the workforce in your discipline, then you go back to school for the last year.
Oh, wow.
So you have a work experience for a year. So imagine like an internship before you get your degree.
Gotcha.
So pretty much, again, the short version of it is, fell in love with the people, the work ethic, the culture, everything in Colombia.
Yeah.
When he came back to the United States, he had a dispatcher that retired after 15 years, and you have to replace a 15-year employee. So he did what everyone else would do. He hired 3 people in 30 days
Right.
to backfill it. 1 didn't show up, 1 didn't pass a drug test, and 1 just didn't work out. And that was in 2012.
Oh, wow.
A lot better labor market than exists today.
Sure.
So just like smart entrepreneurs that he is, and he said, you know what? I got smarter people at 1/3 the cost in Colombia. Let me try there.
Right.
So that's what he did. He hired 4 people there to see how they would do. Hired them. Everything was going fine. Looked after it in 90 days, just like anyone else. Let's see, is it working?
Right.
Because it can work, cannot work.
Right.
Well, he found that they were outproducing the U.S. His U.S. employees
Right.
for 1/3 the cost.
Okay.
So guess what happened? Bing! He did what anyone else did. He went through all of his organizational charts. He went through accounting, accounts receivable, accounts payable, collections, billing, invoices.
So you can collect for me, you can do accounting for me.
You can do anything that's back office that doesn't require a license, graphic design, whatever you need, and you're going to be part of the process. So our most successful clients
Right.
are those that are engaged. Because some of our clients send down swag bags. They would have LAPA signs, they go to work. Colombian people want to work for a US-based company.
Right.
So when he went through his org chart, he moved everything that he could possibly take out of the mills, because there's some work you can't.
Right, you
have
gotta
to
be
be
somebody
there,
gotta be
right,
there, yeah.
Over a 2-year period, they saved about $6.5 to $7 million in that.
Oh, wow.
And then a vendor asked if we could have any space for them, and boom, that was a pivotal moment. Solvo Global, they started it because it was an extension of his company, started it. And then in about 2017, a good friend of mine, how I got involved, Venture Employer Services, they're one of the 3rd largest PEO, professional employment organizations in the country, behind ADP and Paychex. They invested 50% in the company. They moved at least 500 positions over there. We blew up from that 160. We're now up to about 2,000 seats in many different industries: attorneys, insurance, a lot of accounting, financial. So we're the back office for you, back or front office for you, and you're involved in it. So we'll put up your signs, and people want to come to work for your company. They work for you.
Yeah.
And then you get a shared supervisor. It's just been a phenomenal experience, and I'm able to help other entrepreneurs grow their business.
Yeah.
Right. And one key piece at first, it bothered me a little bit. Was I taking U.S.-based employees?
Yeah, you
I
told
didn't
me.
want to do that.
Yeah.
But then I realized, 1, the labor market's terrible here, but 2, you've had many companies and people you work for. You have A, B, and C players, right?
Right.
Well, unfortunately today, a lot of, would you agree with this? A lot of companies are holding on to a lot longer C players,
Right.
Because they can't replace them.
Correct.
Right. So we're able to give you better than C players,
Right.
And you have savings to be able to take care of your A players, because remember, your A player, someone's recruiting.
Yeah. By the way, this show is coming to you, and we couldn't do it without our supporters. It's coming to you from Betty.ai. We'll be talking to the founder in a little bit after this.
Excellent software.
Yeah, you liked it, right?
Oh,
I mean, we're both. You and I have something in common, that at our age, we still get excited about technology, and all the things that you can actually do. So it's brought to you by Betty.ai, also our significant sponsor, which is DealerTrack. If you want to be able to know the best of the best for car registration services, look at DealerTrack, and of course Chase Bank. Chase has been facilitating now a lot of financial avenues and ways to to our community of people. You know, we're a business community. LAPA is a business community. So now let's go back to the fact that when you were talking about the company, about Solvo. So when the injection of cash came in, and it also brought a good friend of ours, Alex Campos, right?
Campos.
So for those of you that don't know, Alex Campos has been a CEO of insurance companies, and he's a very, very smart Latino that really goes out there and gets it. And so he's part of the now Solvo, right? So with that comes knowledge. So like, for example, for Solvo, it wouldn't be a big thing to have somebody that does insurance because they know insurance, they know accounting. So you gotta pick, whether it's with Solvo or somebody else, you gotta pick for expertise, people that are going to treat your business, your employees as if they were their own, and train them well, right? So I want to thank you. What are we missing, man? When are we starting LAPA East?
All right, as soon as we get out of here, we're starting to launch it, and I'm also excited about your next guest, Betty, because that's an awesome software that I'm gonna suggest to a lot of our clients as well out there on the East Coast.
Yeah.
But I want to thank LAPA.
Yeah.
I'm with Solvo Global. We're your global office. You can reach me on LinkedIn, Victor Arocho.
Arocho with one R.
Yeah, one is
No,
Arocho.
Yeah.
And I really like what you're doing, and we want to help the Latino community and expand. And you know, the only way to expand is making sure that you're doing your highest dollar value for every activity you do.
Absolutely. And if you want to know more about Victor, he also, we were talking, and he's done a podcast every week for over a year and a half, right?
Yeah.
So how did they find that podcast?
Oh, Jersey Boy Sports Talk. Actually started a little bit, so I'm actually going to go here, get out of the green room, and then run on and go and talk about the Super Bowl and my Giants, unfortunately, in the NFC East. But I appreciate you giving us a plug for the Jersey Boy Sports
No,
Talk.
man, everybody makes an effort, and I think that, you know, you and I are in the forefront of a lot of friends of ours that should actually put out good, juicy information. I don't know anything about football, but that's your bag, and find your bag, find your community, find those people that will be interested in hearing about the things you have to say, and I commend you for that because not that many people do it, brother.
And I just want to shout out my co-host is Byron Jones. So he played for Minnesota Vikings. And let me tell you, when you see the things that happen in sports, and I'll ask him like, how did that go on in the locker room? It was amazing how it started letting me transfer some of that knowledge and skill set to business.
Right.
Right, like it's like you're there, do your job, right? You know, because that guy could be traded.
Right. Yeah.
So
or they keep him like this.
Yeah. So you know, he taught. You know, a lot of things are applicable to business. So I just want to say thank you to Byron Jones, LAPA. We're excited to do work together, just globally, and thank you again. Solvo, thanks you, Alex, Guillermo, Zuby, Brad, all our bosses out there. Just want to shout out to it, and my boy Henderson's from Texas. Sorry about that.
So awesome, and thank you very much, brother.
All right, my man. God bless. All right.
Thank you.
Un placer.
Pura vida. So.